Welcome to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast, where we hear stories from fellow seamstresses just like you. We're able to share their success stories. We learn from wedding industry pros for the best business tips, and we get to hear from fellow sewists and crafters to hopefully inspire our creativity and our love for sewing. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're a bridal seamstress, I'd also like to invite you to check out our Bridal Seamstress business membership. We have a community of women that can testify to the power of genuine connection, friendship, vulnerability, the power of our six-figure seamstress method, and a genuine connection found in a business mentorship like this. All right, let's dive into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress podcast. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm really excited to introduce you to my friend Anna Leigh. She has been a member of Secrets of a Bridal Seamstress, I don't know, I feel like you've just always been there. Did you join shortly before Austin?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. It feels like forever ago, but it actually wasn't. It was just like years ago.
Not that long. Yeah.
And I think within the membership, we see her as this kind of like silent force that, I mean, you don't want to mess with. And so like the more layers that, I don't want to refer to you as an onion, but yeah, like the more onions that we peel back, we're like, oh, okay, she's a little fiercer in this department. Okay, I wouldn't mess with her in this department. So extremely talented. She's grown a super successful business, and she has a lot of wisdom to share with us today. So Anna, thank you for your time. There are some stories that I know you have DM'd me about that I'm like, we will keep that off the record. Some really good piping hot tea that we won't share publicly. But there are some other stories that you shared with me that I'm like, man, this would be so great for our audience, because as business owners, it's so easy to kind of compare ourselves to others that we see on Instagram or social media, and we just assume that everyone else has it easier than us, and that nobody else faces these difficulties within personal life or business that we feel like we're the only ones going through. And we're not only business owners, but we're human beings. And so that comes with a very human experience. And being on the sidelines and watching you go through some pretty difficult situations last year, I've just been so impressed by you. And so I'm like, if I could just record a couple tidbits of wisdom from you, it'd be worth it. So before we dive into that, the history of Anna Leigh and how it came to be, and about your beautiful space and all the things.
I mean, I started sewing in like fourth grade, like a lot of us.
Yeah.
Like 4-H and just, doing the little
4-H.
4-H
Yeah.
show. So yeah, in like fourth grade, my mom taught me how to sew. My grandma had worked at like a dry cleaners, and she also had like a wedding cake business. So I feel like it's kind of,
yeah, it's like the combo of the two of them.
I do little things here and there, but it wasn't until like I was ready to go to college that I really got back into sewing. And honestly, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, I wasn't prepared to do anything like be a dentist or be a nurse or anything. That wasn't for me. I was like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? But I knew I had to go to college because that just wasn't an option for my
Yeah,
dad.
it's a non-negotiable. Some families are like that. Yes.
Yeah. Looking back, like I wish I didn't have those student loans, right? But
you go to school to pursue something creative, or what was your major?
fashion design.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was like the first time I realized like that could be a career option. Like just looking at the list of majors, and I was like, oh, that feels right. And right away, I hadn't sewn for like years, and my mom was like, what? Like you haven't touched a sewing machine in like 6 years. Like we need to like go to Joann's, get a pattern. Like you're gonna make a dress and like prove that you can still sew.
Yeah.
And like that's what
Turn
you
the thing
do.
on. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but it felt right, and it felt like me for like the first time. So yeah, I studied fashion design. So I did like the little runway shows. I did like Kansas City Fashion Week, Omaha. I did New York Fashion Week, which was like,
Wow.
but that was all like during college.
I think that's so funny how you're just like, oh, and by the way, I did New York Fashion Week. That's like a pivotal moment for many people, and you're just like, it was just another experience.
It was so cool, but that just feels like so far now that I'm
Far
just like,
removed
oh
from
yeah,
who you are now. Yeah.
it was awesome at the time. But when I was like ready to graduate, I was like, okay, I have a degree in fashion design and I live in like the St. Louis, Missouri area. Like, what am I going to do with this? And for a long time, I thought I was going to like move to New York and like really do that. But it just didn't feel right at the time, I guess. So I got a job at a local bridal shop because that was like the only seamstress job in the area. It was like I either do that or I work for like Build-A-Bear. And I was like, I'm going with the brides instead of the bears. And that was so far from what I was doing in design school because I was so far from, like, the glitter and the white and, it was
Hmm.
just so different. But immediately it, like, felt good, and I was like, "Okay, like, I
Hmm.
really enjoy this." So I worked there for I guess it was around, like, 2 years, and then 2020 came. So there wasn't so much a need for me as a seamstress there because people weren't really getting the dresses altered, but people were
Yeah.
still buying dresses at the time. They put me on the sales floor. So I did sales for like 6 months,
Wow.
which I was not great at. I'm not good
Well, it's a totally different animal.
yeah, I wasn't great. It was fun, but I wasn't good at, like, selling things. I'd be like, "Oh, you
Hmm.
didn't have your dress? Go to this shop, like, they probably have it," or not gonna, like, push you to buy a veil if you don't want one, you know what I mean? So, like
Go. I'll give you a list of other places to check out. That
right,
is so
exactly.
funny.
So at a certain point, I was just like, I can't keep doing this. And I was living at home at the time, with my parents. Like half the world isn't working. Like, what am I doing here? Like, I need to find something else. So I quit my job there and I was like, I'll come back when you're ready to have a seamstress, maybe, but I didn't. So for a while, I was just like taking any sewing thing I could find. I had this awesome lady that was a local like fashion designer and she just kind of was looking for some help. I made like a ton of masks for her and then also just like, I don't know, take this dress, turn it into like a cute little crop top and pants. And she paid me pretty good for like what I was doing. And I
Hmm.
just thought that was so fun. I was like, wow, I can like actually make money on my own doing this. And I did that for a little while. And then I got a phone call from it's Eliza, the lady I share my space with now. She was the one that hired me at that bridal shop. So she hired me, trained me for 3 weeks before she quit and started her own business. And she called me up like in the middle of COVID. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, "Nothing really. I quit my
Like I'm
job."
making masks.
Exactly. Doing masks and little sewing appliques on. Like she was like, "Well, I started my business doing bridal only." And she was like, "And there's so many people that need a seamstress right now." I was like, "Oh, really?" So she kind of like pulled me in. She was like, "If you want to do this, like, I'll show you the way." She was like, "I'll give you my pricing list," which I started like at a lower price than her, but
Hmm.
like she gave me like all the tools. She was like, "You need to get this, this, this." And I was just like, "Okay, I don't know," but I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else. Like, I really loved doing bridal when I was doing it for those couple years, but I
Mhm.
also like sewing for myself more than I did for anybody else. Because when I was working for them, it was always kind of a constant battle of like, you're going too slow. You need to be doing things quicker. And I was just like,
Right, right.
I always take the kind of shortcuts that they were wanting me to take. And that was hard for me. I was like, they're paying this
Hmm.
much for them, and I'm only allowed to spend this much time on it. Like, how am I supposed to pick off all the lace? Well, they just wanted you to like
Right.
through the tool. And,
Yeah.
that was always something I struggled with there. So I was like, you know what? That kind of seems like a good match, like working for myself, but still doing the brides. So I just kind of jumped right in. And it was such a crazy time. But she helped me like get started. At the time, she was doing fittings at like a local bridal shop, a different one. So that's what I did for probably 2 years before we got our own space
Oh,
together.
wow. Okay. I didn't realize that had all happened before you even got your own space. Wow.
Yes, yeah. So I would do the fittings at this bridal shop and then I'd take everything home to sew it.
Wow.
There were 3 of us, 2 for a while and then 3 of us. But then eventually we just needed our own space. We had grown and,
Wow, that's like such a dream because it's like to
yeah,
have someone call you up and be like already acknowledging your skill set, encouraging you and giving you that confidence that I feel like that's sometimes the hardest part about starting is like, okay, am I good enough to do this? Like, do I have what it takes?
exactly,
And then you have someone who's like literally calling you and like specifically asking for your skills that they've seen firsthand and that they already believe in. Like, that's incredible. And like,
exactly.
good on her for like not having any weird, there was no competition. It was just like, let's be friends. We both have the same talent. Let's do it together.
I know, it's kinda unheard of. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And your space now is so beautiful. So, do you
You?
have one mirror fitting space that you all share and then you have your own workspaces, or how does that work?
We have 3
Oh,
mirrors.
okay.
They all kinda look the same, so it's like the same mirror with the same
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah, there's like 3 little spaces for that, 3 places to change, and then like a whole separate sewing
Hmm.
area. But I do my sewing from my home studio.
Oh, for real? Oh,
I
how
do.
cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
so nice. And I'm really impressed by that because I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't do anything at home. In the past, because I know that I can't trust myself to do it anymore, I'd be like, oh, I just want to go home and like from the studio. So I'd bring like a bridesmaid dress home. And also, my home machine was easier to like wind up thread and change thread colors than my Juki. It was
Mhm.
like a 13-second difference, but I'm like, that's what I told myself. Like, it'd be easier just to change the thread at home. So then I would, let myself like leave work and come home in hopes of like sewing the work stuff at my home studio. And I just procrastinated. And then I would have to go into work earlier, the next day to get it done or whatever. So that's very
Yeah,
impressive that you do that and it's done.
yeah. I mean, I've gotten used to it, but yeah, it can be hard sometimes when it's like, "Oh, I could just be doing laundry or starting
Yeah.
dinner." But it's like, no, I gotta treat it like I'm at work. And I like having that separation because, like, the last few years I've worked so much. Like, I probably would barely see my husband if I was doing all the sewing. Also
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah,
here,
yeah.
he can, like,
Yeah.
hang out.
I'm trying to like put the dates together because like when in this journey did you find SBS and like Susie?
Um, I was already at the location we're at now. I've been there for a while.
Okay, so I kind of want to change gears here because now that we kind of know the history of how you landed where you are,
Yeah.
you've already built yourself like a really great reputation. It sounds like you're never like looking for clients to book with you. You just always seem busy. Was it just last year or was it 2 years ago with the Google review?
It was 2 years ago.
It was one of those situations where the client had, I don't want to say ruined her dress, but damaged her dress while she was in it during the fitting. So it wasn't anything that Anna, as the professional, did. There was no complaints in the alterations themselves, but during the fitting, the bride had the dress on and something happened to the dress. And there was even an audible reaction from the guests that the bride had with her, right? So everybody in the room was very aware that there was this damage to the gown. And I think, did you like fix it or did she take it home?
I would have to replace the whole back. So
Oh,
I
yes. Okay.
was fixing it, yeah. She just didn't want to wait because it would have had to been an overnight because we were already, like, on a
Hmm.
rush timeline. Pricing was already kind of an issue,
Yeah.
which looking back, like, never give a discount just because you feel bad for somebody.
It's like all those
Um,
red flags that were like, actually, I would never do that again. And yes,
That's kinda how it always goes, like, people that I've talked to. I don't know what it is, but, like, I
yeah.
felt so bad. But, yeah, I was replacing the whole back, and I had to do it overnight because she needed it the next day, and we weren't planning on doing that, like, it was supposed to be her pickup
Hmm.
that day, like, she was taking it with her. So I had to fix it overnight, and the next morning, I had texted her or called her, she didn't answer, so I sent her a message of, like, "Could I have, like, 45 minutes to an hour
Hmm.
extra?" Like, I'm looking at it, I have 3 hours left until I see you at 10 AM. I don't think I'm gonna get done. Like, can I have an extra, like, 45 minutes to an
Yeah,
hour?
that's
Um,
reasonable.
I thought it was reasonable because I was already doing, like, all this stuff that I hadn't planned on overnight, right? I had canceled all my other people. Well, at the final fitting, it almost felt like she was already mad at me, even though nothing had happened yet.
We can all relate to that because sometimes, like the week of the wedding, you're like, whoa, you're coming in with that angst. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like all of a sudden the stress has hit you. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. Yeah.
So that's when it went really bad was when I had asked for that extra time and she was like, "No." And I was trying to be like, "I can bring it to you. Like, I can meet you
Hmm.
anytime. Like, if you need to do all your stuff, I can meet you at 10 o'clock tonight."
Hmm.
And it was like, "No, no, 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 no." And it just kinda kept getting worse. She was like, "I'll just take the dress now without you finishing it." So that's what we did, that's what we agreed on. I had the dress, like, delivered by somebody else, like, I hired someone to deliver
Hmm.
it, and that was it. And if you look, like, on Facebook, she wore a different dress to her wedding. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. So she, like, sent me a message, sent me an email, and then
And this is
literally,
after the wedding.
like 2 days after the wedding, she left
Okay.
me the review, and I don't remember what it said. I have a hard time, like, reading that.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
on my phone somewhere, but I just can't get myself to read it anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Understandably so.
but basically it was like, "You ruined my dress. You ripped it."
Which is
But
so infuriating when it's like,
because it wasn't
you know
true.
exactly what happened and it was not true. And the fact that she had witnesses who
Mhm.
didn't stand up to her, they were in the room and they gasped. And like, I think somebody said, oh, like I think the mom said something or something like that.
Mom was like, "No, honey, like, I just watched you rip it yourself. Like, I
Okay.
will pay for it if that's what you're worried about. Like, I'm the mom, I'll pay for it. I saw her rip it." And that's what hurt the most was, like, the story she was telling was so far from the truth. It was, like, blaming me for, like, saying her dress was cheap, and I was like, "That is so awesome that you got this dress for that price, like, that is such a good deal," and then had people making reviews for her. So, like, she had, like, her mom left a review, her friend, all these people, like, there was a couple, like, guys, so it was, like, I don't know if that was, like, her husband or her dad and just, like, all these
Yeah.
friends. So I ended up with, like, at least, like, 15 random one-star reviews, and that was hard, and they were all kinda, like, telling this same story, and I was like, "But that's not what happened." Had it
Yeah.
been a one-star review on something that I had truly messed up, like, that's fair, but it was just so far from the truth, and I ended up talking to, like, someone at Google, and they were, like, starting to, like, flag them. So eventually,
Hmm.
they did all come down, which was good because, I guess technically you can't leave a review for someone if you didn't actually use their service, right?
Right. Did
So,
her
like,
review stay up too, or no?
it did not, which I was surprised. That one took, like, a
Yeah.
while to come down, and I don't know why, but that one came down too. Um,
Wow, that's amazing.
a lot of my good reviews came down too, like, ones that were
Oh,
in that same time and, like, new
yeah.
ones that came in. It took, like, almost a year to, like, start getting them to actually come through again. Yeah, so I missed out on a lot of them.
Oh my gosh.
Like, because people would tell me, like, "Hey, I left you a review." Like, if I did my cousin's dress, she'd be like, "I left you a review." It's like, it doesn't show up, you know?
Oh my goodness. So
So
I
that
because I remember when you're telling the story, I think we had like a girls' night in call and some of us were like literally crying. And I know like listeners hearing this, as horrible as the situation was, like you're not the only one to have gone through something like that. And it is so deep cutting.
yes,
Like it is so hurtful. And I remember when you like posted on Instagram like the next day, and I'm like, or not the next day, but it was like
it was
you didn't
close.
take forever to like, yeah, to just, okay, like you're back on the horse. I'm like, how is she doing this? So walk us through that. Like, how did you still go to work? How did you still like post on Instagram? How did you do it?
I don't know, I mean, it was hard, it was really hard. I cried a lot and, it was just kinda like, "Okay, that was hard. I've been through other hard things. I can get through this too." I had to, like, force myself to, like, think about all these people that you look up to. They've been through all these hard things, like, you've watched the documentaries, you've heard the music.
Hmm.
They can get through it, like, there's something in me that can just fight through that as well. And it wasn't easy, and, like, posting on Instagram, I remember being like, "I just gotta put something up, like, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
just remember, like, the good brides," and it was just kinda my
Mm-hmm.
way of, like, reminding myself of, like, all the happy brides I did have. It was also, like, not the biggest thing in my life at that time either.
That's true. Yeah. If we have a listener who is going through something like that right now, even maybe if it's not a review bullying, but just a situation where you're like, this is not fair. It's like the injustice is that what got me, what would you say to them if like you were having coffee with them of how to get to the next step?
I mean, I think you need to have, like, 1, 2, 3 people that you can, like, talk to. Like, you don't need to tell everybody, you might want to, but, like, you really should just have, like, a few people that you can tell everything to and just kinda get
That's
their
really
feedback.
smart because you're right. We do want to tell everybody who'll listen, but it's like
Yes.
now, not everybody needs to hear. Hmm.
Yeah, and be picky about who you are telling, because there's gonna be the people that are just, like, gonna kinda dig you into that hole deeper and be like, "No, we need to fight," and, like, you just need to be mindful of who you're talking to and find a solution rather than just keeping yourself in that negative energy.
Yes. Yeah.
Try to find, like, a positive view on it, like, I look back and I'm like, "It was a learning point for me," like, I'm almost a little bit thankful that that happened, because it taught me a lot of lessons. It sucked in the moment, it was rough, and I cried and, but, like, at the end of the day, like, it made me better. It made me have things in my business that will protect me, like contracts
Mm,
and, like, being more aware of, like, the things that I say in fittings because they can take that and spin it. So just kinda being
that's
more
so true.
mindful of everything.
Yeah, and I know we talk about this a lot in our calls, is like we sometimes forget that we're working with strangers, like we want to create a warm environment so everybody comes in
Mhm.
and feels like, okay, we're friends and this is very comfortable. And then we can sometimes let our own guard down, and it can even look like giving a discount because we're like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, okay, this is stressful for you. So, well, that's okay. I'm going to wink, wink, change the price. Or we, with good intentions, we lower our guard, and then it doesn't always have the best end result. And you don't really know that until you experience it. The women who I've talked to that are like, I don't think I need a contract yet, or I haven't used a contract, I'm like, oh gosh, will you just wait? Because I feel like that just means you haven't experienced anyone yet that has taught you that you need like an like ironclad contract. You know what I mean? But we just want to assume that everybody is like kind and fair and honest, like we are. And then we're met with somebody like this who can totally twist things and then like still like sleep at night. And
Mhm.
okay, well, not everybody is like me, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they're not even red flags. They're just like, ooh, they're like little. We have like our antenna up, and you just pick up on little things, like little nuances and like body language or just little phrases. And I love how you said you are more aware of just what you say in fittings instead of being like, she twisted everything I said, and I'm the victim in this. Okay, how can I learn from this and just change my vocabulary with people? Because I feel like my first response when I first started, and even like for years, was to like immediately apologize or immediately like overcompensate if I sensed that they were tugging at something or questioning something or even like responded a certain way about pricing. My first response would almost like apologize, even if I wasn't saying, oh, I'm sorry. Like that was my tone. And
Yes.
after
Yep.
learning about people, it's like, okay, I don't need to do that. They're
Mhm.
processing something, and I need to watch my own response, like guard my words a little better. But those things you don't know until you experience it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
all of us like watching you were like, okay, and then she's on to the next month. And it's like, so who was the next good bride? Like, what was your next good experience that you're like, okay, actually, I'll keep doing this as a job? Okay, you know?
Like, everyone was, like, good, but there was a few that were just, like, so great, and I'll never forget them, and they just came back recently because sisters, one got married,
Oh, yeah.
and, like, just came back a few months ago, and I remembered, like, they would always come, mom, bride, and sister, and, like, maybe another friend would come, and it was just always this fun group, and they, like, just made me remember, like, how good it can feel, and, like, the bride was
Mm,
just always, like, so happy, just constantly being like, "I feel so beautiful," and she had no idea what was going on, like, I had just gone through this, and I was just like, "Wow," like, it feels so good to make someone so happy. It just feels good to, like, be reminded of how important your job is because it's a very important dress that we're working on, and
yeah.
just making people feel good was what just kind of got me through it.
Oh, I love that. I love how you said, like, I still remember them, because I think about those awful clients and if I remember the next client. And I remember the next client more than I can visualize the face of the bad client. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's like mercy. I don't know what that gift is. It's just like, I'm so thankful that like God helps me remember the people who loved me instead of having this clear vision of like the face or the things that the mean people said or whatever. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
If you're listening, if you're going through something, just wait till the next appointment, okay? And like just look for all the glimmers that are going to come through the door with the next fitting on your agenda
Exactly.
or on your schedule. So I know you alluded to this too. You had bigger things going on in the midst of this review bullying. And this is where we're humans and we're going to go through personal experiences as we run a business. And so around the same time, you were dealing with the loss of your brother who had been sick for how long was he sick?
A little under a
Okay.
year. He was going through cancer. I had just lost my grandpa. We had just lost my husband's grandpa, my uncle, my cousin, and it was just, like, a
Wow.
lot of loss within, like it might have been, like, 2 years total, but
Mhm.
it was a lot of, like, important people. But, yeah, the biggest one was, of course, my brother. It was just very unexpected. But, yeah, so all that stuff he was sick at the time that I was getting this review, so it was kind of
Mhm.
in the back of my mind too, like, this is not as big of a deal as
Yeah.
this. You just have to kind of look at the big picture, and
Right.
it's hard. There's a lot of hard times, but
What preparations did you have to do? I mean, as your brother was sick and as you're kind of sensing, okay, I don't know if this is going to end well, what preparations did you have to do professionally and how were you able to even step back and consider that when like you said like the big picture is your brother's more important than work,
Mhm.
right? But how did you also plan for work in the midst of that?
I didn't really, and I wish I had, but I think we always kind of thought it was gonna end differently. Like, we thought we were gonna have
Yeah.
more time. I had another seamstress kinda do a couple things,
Okay.
but not much, and I wish I would've stepped back immediately and like took on less. But like my books were already full and I was like, I committed to these brides.
Mhm.
I can't just stop on the ones I've already started. I can't send the ones that are getting married 2 months from now looking for another seamstress because there's no one in the area that's not
Yeah.
fully booked. Nobody would be able to take them. And yeah, I honestly just kind of pushed through. I didn't take a lot of time off, which also, like, I think that's kind of a way for me to kind of get through it too, because that's what I've always done. Like my senior year of college, I lost my grandma, and my senior collection for the runway show was based on her. So,
Oh
like,
my
in the
goodness.
middle, I lost her, which was like my whole inspiration. And I still had to keep working on that. Like, I had to do that or I wouldn't graduate. So I think that was just kind of how I kind of got through things, was just dive into work and make other people happy with what I can do. I mean, otherwise I'd just be laying on the couch watching TV, feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah. And
I
I
think
think too, with what you do or what we do, it is so people oriented. Like you said earlier, like it is such an important piece. And you know, when you're working, it's not just what you're doing with your hands, but it's like what memories you're creating for this
mhm,
woman, or like how you're helping her feel in her dress. Like, I mean, if you had to go to work going through something like this, it's like it's so others focused, even though it is work with
mhm.
your hands. So if you were to share with somebody, like, okay, in hindsight, this is maybe what I would have done differently. What would you like tell me to do to prep in advance?
Find other seamstresses that can take on a little bit extra and just divide it
Mhm.
between, because, like, if you ask them, I'm sure they would, and I'm sure brides would have understood too, but at the
Yeah.
time, I think I was so lost, I was like, "I don't even know what to do, I just gotta go to work," you know?
Yeah.
But I would definitely step back, which is what I'm doing this year. I've taken on much less, and now I can kinda reflect and have time for myself
Mhm.
and not be working all the time.
Maybe your body knew that you kind of couldn't do that a couple years ago.
Yeah, like I said, I think that was just my way of getting through the day to day. Just
Yeah.
knowing I still had a purpose for these few people that really needed me, I guess.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's really wise too, just to give yourself grace and knowing that not every year has to look or feel the same. The amount of clients that you take in doesn't need to be the same, or like the projects, the work that you accept, you can take the easy stuff. And it's such a gift that we have as like running our own business and choosing our own clients, but sometimes we forget that that is our choice. And you know what I mean, like we have to do something, or we have to like, but nobody else is watching, like nobody else knows except us. So
Exactly.
that's great. Yeah. What are you doing with the other balance part of your life? Like you're reading more, you like going on walks, what do you do? Do you cook?
I've been reading more, like doing like Legos and puzzles with my husband.
Fun.
Um,
That
we're
is a
like,
luxury. Like puzzles are
right,
totally a luxury. So
yeah, I don't know, it's just nice to have that, like, chill time.
yep.
We're
Mm-hmm.
also, like, painting our house and doing just, like, some upgrades and stuff. But, yeah, just hanging out, not having in the back of my mind, I should be working right now because I have extra time. Yeah, it's been nice.
Did
Yeah.
it take you a while to like get into that groove? Because I feel like that's how I feel sometimes, where I'm like, if I'm go, 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 and then all of a sudden the schedule kind of empties out, or like I have this
Mhm.
white space, I'm like, huh. And it takes a while to like settle into it, and then to feel okay with just like, yeah, sitting on the couch longer, or like, oh, I guess I'll go for a walk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know?
Yeah, yeah, at first, I was like, "Oh, I just need to be in the sewing room making something, like, I'll make a robe, I'll make a veil." But
Yeah.
then after, like, a while of that, I was like, "I don't have to be working right now, like, I don't have to. I can work kind of a normal work day and then just
Yeah.
be like everybody else," you know? And
Yes, exactly.
yeah, it's definitely a mind shift, getting kinda used to that. And I won't always be this slow, you know? I just
Right.
need some time. It's hard, like, saying no to brides, though, which I think is something a lot of people struggle with. But it's like, the people are wanting me, but I'm like, "No, I just gotta take this small amount and say no to everybody else." But it's hard.
Mhm.
I'd be like, "Oh, that
Mhm.
dress is so pretty, I really wanna work on that." But no, you know?
But
Sorry, that's
puzzles
that's
are waiting. Yes.
puzzles
Mhm.
are way.
Okay, so what would you like to see the alterations in the next like 3 years?
I think I just kinda wanna stay a little bit where I'm at. I wanna, not be as slow as I am right now, but I don't wanna get back to being as busy as I was either. So I wanna kinda find that.
Mhm.
I would like to get more into the custom veils and stuff. I've done a little bit here and there. I'd like to be
Mhm.
more into that. I don't know. I want to really focus on like the experience that each bride has. Cause like in the past, when I've been like so busy, sometimes you'll be like, oh, I wish I had a little more time, or I wish I could have
Mm-hmm.
connected with her better, or
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have made her that custom veil that she wanted, but I just didn't have time for. Like, I want to really elevate the experience and make it more about not just you're getting alterations done, but like you're coming here, you're enjoying it, like you get those few times with your dress. Like, I want it to be special and not feel stressed. Like, I want you to have my best version. Like, I don't want to be half asleep because I was sewing half the night and
Yeah.
you're fitting because I have to be here. I want to make it the best for them. So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of my goal.
Oh, I love that. That takes such intention when we are in a routine of like, this is our job. And then we forget that like this is something so special that they do like once in a lifetime. And to take a step back and like, okay, looking at it through their eyes and how do we make it really something special? Speaking of Susie, she just posted in our circle chat within our membership. One of our members shared her first fitting experience. Did you see that post? And it was like so beautiful. And I'm like, okay, time to up my game. And I love
Yeah.
that because it's like, okay, I thought what I had going on was cute, but I could be better. And it's just those little touches, but it does take time and just like a minute to like step back and be like, okay, let me evaluate what I have going on and put forth some effort to make it even better. So I love that. I'm very excited for you. I can't believe it's been 2 years because I thought this was all just last year, but there were
Yeah.
other things that happened last year. You've just had a busy couple of years and there was a lot going on professionally and personally. So I'm excited for you to like get in a rhythm. And I'm very excited to see you in Nashville. Yay! And I couldn't come to Scottsdale for Fall Fest, and it was not the same without you. So we are very excited. And thanks to you, we added the Country Music Hall of Fame to the docket. So yay,
Yay.
yay, yay. All right. Well, thank you, Anna. Let us know where can we find you and stalk you on Instagram.
On Instagram, I'm Anna Leigh Bridal Alts. And you can find my website linked in the bio.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we will follow along. Thanks, Anna. And now you know where to find her if you have questions. Maybe listeners, if you're going through something traumatic like this review situation, you have a couple resources now to reach out to. And between the two of us, like, we're not going to judge you, but if you need to have those like safe couple of people to talk to, we are here. So the DMs are
Yeah.
open.